Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us as we write another chapter in the page of the Hollywood Athletics Club. My name is Musibudi Whitehead, and it's a pleasure for me to be with you this morning. If you are falling asleep at your desk as you join us on Facebook Live via the Modern Athlete page or indeed the Hollywood Athletics Club page, don't worry, we've got just the excitement you need because we all know you stayed up late watching Bafana, and now you're trying to keep yourself awake. We've got the excitement you need because today is a very special day where we announce a very special person in what is a very special year. Before we get there though, let's start with this one. It is the man's birthday today. So joining us is Stephen Mokoka. We'll talk a little bit more, but can we all say 1, 2, 3? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Timmy. Happy birthday to you. So we are joined as well by members of the media here at one of Hollywood Bits' various facilities around the country. We are in Gauteng, and they're the ones who are asking, how old are you now? They know very well he's knocking on 40, but still full of life. Happy birthday, Tippy. How do you feel?
Firstly, let me say thank you for having me, and good morning to you, Sumili. I don't know where to start, but I mean, I was asked a few minutes ago, what am I doing for my birthday? I would find out the cake that was sitting in the bottom of his mind. I can say it's a special day. I'm grateful for that. I can say to the manager for Hollywood's elite group, I don't know if he chose this day specifically for my birthday, but I'm grateful, having to be received and be acknowledged, and also to be celebrating my birthday at a new place where I'm working towards.
Okay, and that is a hint of what you can expect today. Thank you for joining us on the gram, and thank you for joining us on Facebook Live as well. You can use that hashtag, the purple team. We'll ask one champion to another, a former SA marathon champion, Upi Mlambo. So Upi will cut this a little bit later as he takes it from another SA marathon champion. As she takes it, we will cut the cake after this press conference, but Stephen Mokoka, they're alluding to what is coming up today. You can share your questions with us, your fist pumps and all your motivation through our various social media platforms. And it's not going to be a long one, but we'd love to hear from you. He just alluded to it. This year is an Olympic year. This is a 3-time Olympian, a multiple SA champion, over 10,000 meters, 5,000 meters. There was even a year where he won the 1,500 meters in a sprint finish against Johan van Deventer and Johan Cronje about a decade ago. He is also a former world record holder over 50 kilometers, and lots more in store. Thank you for joining us. We've seen you dressed in purple, so it is finally confirmed. Stephen Mokoka, why did you choose to join the Hollywood Athletics Club?
Firstly, let me say greetings to everyone in the house, members of the media. We rely on you to bring out the message out there. So, I mean, I didn't expect something like this. When I saw the members, I'm seeing the people that normally introduce myself. When I see them, I'm like, the message will be out there, because a lot of people have been asking. I've been getting messages, I've been getting calls, people wanting to know when they see people are signing up with their clubs, but I'm not saying anything. So probably wherever they were seated, some of them, they thought that I'm tired or I'm not and gonna be South African season, but seeing you today, you can circulate a message out there that I'm officially working towards joining the Olympics. Normally they say come with a paper so that everyone can see that I've signed on the dotted line, so that everyone can be sure that I've officially joined them.
So you've signed up?
No, I've signed in closed doors.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But coming to your question, is that when you walk around the world, you see change. I've seen a lot of clubs existing. I've seen a lot of clubs doing things for their athletes, whether it's social, whether it's elite runners. But when Hollywood started coming into being, where they started having elite runners, because initially it was based in 11, because I've been following it. It was more of a social club, but when they started expanding the business, I can say that because I'm a businessman. Because my career, I manage myself, so in terms of running. So since I call myself a partner, when I saw whatever they do for the athletes, especially the elite runners, I started having interest. But it took me a very long time for me to take that decision. Because where I come from, the treatment I was getting, everything I was getting, it was awesome. But there is one lady, a motivational speaker. She said, if a person resists change, you actually lose 10% of your value. You can't stay in one place for a very long time because you are losing value. Losing value means you are not growing. So what I've seen specifically, the number of the athletes, how happy they are, the reception they get, the support they get. You know, when you walk around and you see people coming into the picture, especially, I can make an example. When I saw Two Oceans Marathon, when I saw people
What a race.
having that great race, and then towards that, the support that you got from the club, you know, it's what direct me and say, I want to be in a situation where I'm comfortable. I don't have to worry about anything. The only thing I have to worry about is running. Then I was like, this is a place to be. And then when I saw again a comrade, I was like, no. At least there it looks like they are very, very happy. I was happy where I was, but now it looks like they are more happier than myself. Basically, because they don't have to worry about anything whatsoever. And I remember one of the athletes who finished 11th at the comrade.
Who is your training partner, Kumbuza Seme, the son of your coach as well, Brasponch Michael Seme, and also had a fabulous run of comrades last year. Yeah.
I saw a few pictures of him at halfway.
And everyone was
Banners of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then everyone went crazy.
Yes.
I was like, how is this guy wasting so much energy?
Why is he?
Have
Yeah.
a long way to go, but it shows that he's a happy person. And eventually came number 11. And I was like, you know what? This is the best place for me. If I want change, that's where I'm going. Because they say performance comes from a happy person. Performance comes from a peaceful person. Performance comes from a person who's so calm, who is able to focus in their own way. So that's the most thing that drove me to say, you know what, I need change and I'm working towards this. And then I'm hoping myself I'll be more happier. And then the great things will come after it.
Why now? People will be tuning into this live broadcast as we come to you via Modern Athletes Facebook page, on Instagram. Also, we are on the Hollywood Athletics Club, and saying there've been lots of clubs that have wanted you, that have seen you performing in the red, that have seen you winning national titles, races on the road, and you have rebuffed the advances. Why now? Because some will say maybe after the Olympics. Why did you decide to make this change now in your own life?
I think looking at like I'm saying, I've seen few TV personalities, I've seen a few sports personalities at the club. They are like the ambassadors.
Yes, we're talking about Robert Marawa, Tiko Modise, Carol, and others. Yeah.
So for me, it was like, if people of this magnitude, and when we have a Olympic race, they will bring Marawa in, or they will bring them in. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a chance so that one day I can be given a platform. So for me, it's more of getting into the club while I'm still relevant. I don't want when there is no relevance, and then I will come and say, guys, please,
I'm starting
me
this
be the
foundation.
ambassador. You know, so basically, I'm just exploring my avenues because I've seen how Hollywood is big in terms of the influence that it has. I've seen the ads, and when I drive back to Pretoria, when I come back from Soweto, Pretoria, I see the ads. I'm like, no, I want to be here, you know. And I was like, no, the place actually, it's different from in the field of play. There are more avenues. We do have few athletes. I mean, we've seen Poppy, she's given a chance to be an administrator. You know, stuff that you can't get or you find it hard to get. I mean, we have the likes of Jacob. He used to be my training mate. He's employed by Hollywood. So for me, it's like, you know what, the more I age, I have to find something to do in my life. And I've seen that here, they actually can help you explore. So I'm not putting pressure on you, in fact, I'm also not putting pressure on Hollywood Athletics Club.
Because we've just had a like here from Greg Glossop, who's the chairman of the club. So you're not putting pressure on him, he's watching us here.
So basically, it's for me to explore, hoping that as soon as I hang my boots, the day I do, I don't know when is it, but the day I decide to do it, I can have a specific role within the club or within the company, you know. So that's basically why I decided to come and join them.
I think very well answered, because we often in our job as media will meet with athletes post their careers and talk to them about what they are doing now. And many will say, okay, I'm starting a foundation, I'm doing this, which is possible, but sometimes it's, as you say, it's easier to do when you are at the peak of your powers and in the spotlight. So when you pick your club wisely. And I think that is a very good investment in yourself and your own business, because there are athletes who have been supported by the Hollywood Athletics Club. And I think the best and most famous example is Pitbull, who I know will be watching, and who's got a number of interests aside of athletics. And I know that Hollywood have come to the party with him. One more question before we introduce the elite club manager of the Hollywood Athletics Club. It's an Olympic year, and my colleague and I, Tatim Simang, posted a story on you, I think 2 days ago, and they were all arguing there. You know when people are having an argument without the person who's involved, and they are just going on. Yeah, hey, Tip is going to Olympics. No, why is he going now? Hey, is he going to leave the Kenyans? No, we're tired of Ethiopians. I say 1, 2, 3, Ethiopian sweep. And it all happened under that story where you shared your ambitions for 2024. You're now dressed in purple. You're a 3-time Olympian. You've qualified for Paris. How does that fit into your plans now that you're part of the purple team?
I can say before I signed on the dotted line, I had to go through the program for a year. And I'm grateful that Hollywood Athletics Club elite manager, he said, and then we had a year plan. That's how grateful I am. And then I alluded this thing of the previous 2 weeks ago of our call.
Yeah.
And then I also alluded that the key event is which one. And then I'm happy that when we agreed, there were no lot of races, because I believe he understands the value the Olympics add to the club. And I also understood the value of the international marathon that I come from adds to the club, even though it was before I signed. But for the fact that he became considerate, I was very grateful, and then I'm happy. I think there were certain parts where I also mentioned that I want to go abroad, go and prepare for the Olympics, and it's like, you know what, that's a tough one, but it's possible. So I'm like, you know, if it's possible, I hope that this time around the Olympic year will be different for me, because at the last Olympics, I prepared in the cold conditions. I couldn't cope with the weather.
Talking about Tokyo 2021, where it was extremely humid and hot. And we saw the famous fist pump between the Brazilian and Kipchoge. They were running, and then the man didn't finish the heat. Took its toll on a lot of athletes, including yourself. That's what you do.
Yep. So I'm happy that the lead manager agreed that he would put a word for me. If I can be able to go up, I would be grateful because I stood up at some point saying that, you need some financial support, from South Africans, from corporates, from there.
Correct, which is covered very well by Charles Bangui, that story.
Yeah. So, Hollywood saying, my manager saying that I'll go talk to your bosses. By that time, they were not even my bosses. It was like, I'll go talk to them. At least we have to boost you, I'll be grateful for that because I believe that if I can be in the same position as Obak Josiah, when he won the Olympics in '96, they were actually in Abekeki.
Yeah.
Because at that time there were financial structures in place, but now all those things are away. But I'm grateful that the Olympics Athletics Club they are willing to do something like that for myself, and I'm grateful for that. So I believe that this year the Olympics will be different. And I'm hopeful that this year I do better than I did the previous years. But like I said earlier, I believe that when I'm happy, the great results will come.
Yanko, we leave it there now and introduce a man whose name has been mentioned, his title, his position has been mentioned, and we'll call him up to join us here on this top table. Thank you for staying with us this morning. We are coming to you from one of Hollywood Bets' facilities as we announced the latest signing of the Hollywood Athletics Club. He joins a number of athletes, including the likes of Msawinkosi Mtalane, who of course finished in 4th place at the Total Sports 2 Oceans Marathon earlier last year. And all of their top runners, many of them will be in action this weekend. The Hollywood Athletics Club down in KZN at PJS. It's a big race there where they will be fighting it out. Not this man though, because you've heard he is preparing for the Olympic Games, and Hollywood are helping that. The man who made it possible, he comes to us now. I'll ask you, Tippett, to please take a seat here. And Manfred Seidler leads the elite team at the Hollywood Athletics Club. If he could just take a seat there next to him. Thank you so much for your comments. We see you all. Yeah, of course. Well, when I'm more, this is what I like. Majona, Mema Mokoka, Zintle Mokoka also commenting there. Thank you so much and encouraging. Thank you, Val. And thank you to Nobuse Chuma Masango, of course, the winner of the N12 50-kilometer and placing in the top 10 at 2 Oceans last year. I think many people inspired by the way that Stephen Mokoka, because whenever he talks, other elite athletes often comment and they're inspired by the way that he has structured his career. So many like Nobuse, they're happy to hear about this move. Manfred, this is a man whose signature has been sought after, given that he's now 15 years strong in this business of elite running. How did you manage to get his signature where others failed?
Yes, we for trade secrets.
Good morning.
Yeah, look, as you heard Stephen saying, a lot of his ambitions align with the club's objectives. He's speaking about a post-athletics career. He's speaking about his athletics career now, and you're also talking now about the comments on Facebook, how people warm to him and so on. And I think Stephen's a huge role model in running, and any club will be very, very privileged to have as a member of the club. It's when we started the discussions, I said to him, I don't just see you as an athlete, I don't just see you as somebody who runs, I see you as an inspiration, I see you as somebody who can make a difference in not just athletes' lives, but other people's lives, which is, it comes back to Stephen's comments about looking to become an ambassador and so on. And excuse me, one of the things that we discussed was that I would very much like him to, as part of our arrangement with him, so throughout the year he'll do some motivational talks to some of our athletes, even to some of us, the team members, the staff members of Hollywood Bets, because the story is inspirational, and when he speaks, you see everybody who's listening. When you've seen the responses on Facebook, how people are going, "Hey, I love the story. I love the story." And for me, that was key. It's not just the fact that he's an exceptional athlete. It's the additional that he brings to the party, and that aligns with our values.
So you go after the man's signature, you look and say you like him to contribute more than just running. And sometimes you can have a meeting of the minds, but not a meeting of the signatures. How long did this take to put together? Because I can imagine there's probably a lot of back and forth. He speaks about his year plan. And sometimes you look at the person's year plan, especially when they're an international athlete, sometimes a South African season and the international one can kind of get at odds with Europe. So how did you manage to kind of compromise and make sure that that gets done in the face of whatever calendar challenges that you may have?
I think we're very lucky in that there isn't really any compromise. When Stephen and I started talking, obviously the Olympics was being on the cards. Four-time Olympian, club member, teammate event, also going for the Olympics, and that's also good for the club. It's good for the brand. So when we started speaking about the year, it's obviously right on top was the Olympics. We obviously have the two Hollywood races that are coming up, where Stephen will be taking part. And for us, that's obviously as a club, that's every athlete will be at those races, whether they are racing or just as ambassadors and so on. But in terms of his racing calendar, I know that any race he attends, he always gives his best. He's always well prepared. He races sparingly, but when he races, he performs. So it wasn't really a difficult conversation to have in terms of how do we compromise on the calendar. There really wasn't much in the way of other compromise that we needed to do.
Let's hear from some of the comments then, because they are flooding in. And thank you so much for staying with us. We're almost wrapping up this little press conference to introduce the man of the moment, Stephen Mokoka, joining the Hollywood Athletics Club. And he is just sharing some of what informed this decision as he steps into a new phase in his career. Congratulations, my role model. That is Nubuse Chumama Sangu. Zintle Mokoka, welcome to the perfect team. And she laughs there. Mema Mokoka, what's ever social runner like us. Val Bretano says, congratulations, of course, one of our leading administrators here in athletics in South Africa. Malcolm Bruce says, congratulations, my #1 athlete. And then, of course, one of the men that you alluded to, the bosses. Welcome, Stephen, to the club. Exciting times ahead, says Greg Glossop. Tell us, congratulations, plus Stephen. I wish you the best for your preparation. That is Pilani, another top runner. Pilani Putelezi. Give Momudziga Nyama. He is the Two Oceans marathon champion, reigning marathon champion. Calls him a national treasure. Does he referring to Tipi here? Lucanio doesn't want to know about running. Down in Lucanio. He says, happy birthday, champ. Yeah, wow, running. Running here, they forgot to wish him. And all the best with your new club. Milton Kekana, of course, is one of the youngsters who is mentored / coached by Stephen Mokoka. He is a World Student Games gold medalist in the 10,000 meters. Milton, hey, these comments are flying now. I lost Milton. Oh, Kyo. Had a great move, Tippy. Best signing for the purple team. George Stolle, he is the PRO here at the Hollywood Athletics Club. Let's run and make history. And then we've got more champions. Slender, Edward Muti. Congratulations to Hollywood for signing Stephen Mokoka. And they continue. Thank you so much for sharing your comments with us. You can continue to share them here on the Modern Athletes Facebook page and as well with the perfect team. Usul, welcome to the purple team. Mfowageti Askichime, Usho Usmpiwe, Eliaro Trier. Congratulations, Mokoka, my champ, the champion with ambition. So keep them coming, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. Any expectations? You guys have signed your year plan. What have you said? Hey, my man, you must win this race for us. Manfred, if you just, yeah.
Are you asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you, not him. Because you know, sometimes when they sign someone, they say, right, you must win this race for us. We don't see that in that boardroom. But you know, any expectations, or whether they are outcomes or process based?
I think, as I said earlier on, excuse me, when Stephen pitches up at a race, he's always welcome. He's always in the mix. He's always in contention. And you know, for us, that's the expectation, is just be the best that you can do. We all know that mishaps happen on the day. You blow, it happens. That can happen to anyone. But we all know the preparation that he puts into working and preparing for racing. He doesn't race very often, but when he does, he performs. So you know, for us, that's obviously key. That's obviously something we'd like to have, but it's not a case of like, you must win this, you must do this, you must do this. It's, do the best you can. We'll support you to the best of our abilities. And you know, anything beyond that, like a major win is obviously a big bonus for all of us. So there's no turning around saying you're going to run this race and you're going to win it or else. And that applies to all of our athletes.
And that is true, because remember with Yvette van Zyl, shortly after signing, she suffered a career-threatening injury, sat down for 6 months. If it had been Musibudi Whitehead's club, he probably would have said, hey, come to my club, you're not running for 6 months. But there was wonderful support, and she bounced back fabulously, winning the total sports women's race, and then, of course, making her way to the World Championships, where she ran for South Africa and finished the race there. And then also won Soweto, the African Bank Soweto Marathon, almost setting a course record. That was the kind of support that she received, and I'm sure that is the support that Stephen Mokoka is alluding to when he says, happy people perform. We're about to wrap things up here. Thank you for staying with us. And
So I'm excited. I'm really excited. The Purple Club, Purple people. So I'm looking forward for 2024. Probably, Manfred, going to the future. I hear you keep on talking 2024. I don't know what's going to happen in 2025, 2026. So I'm hoping in the coming years, it will be a happy place. It will be a best place. It will be a user-friendly working environment for myself. So I'm excited.
Beautiful. You talk about 2025 and we're wrapping things up. Thank you so much for staying with us. Ordinarily in athletics, we hear people signing one-year contracts. That is the way that it works in South Africa. But who knows, maybe he signed a longer-term deal, or will we hear about that in future?
You will hear about that in future.
Yeah, so he doesn't want to tell us how long the deal is, but one day we'll know. So that's where we leave it. Thank you so much for staying with us, and the comments are still flooding in. His training partner, a man who is sub 61 over the half marathon, Colin Mlaudzi, joined first. He says, "Hi, Madala." Miroslav Dimitrov says, "Now it's okay." We've got Umandosi. She says, "Welcome to the Purple family. Wishing you a great upcoming running season." Tula Majola, welcome to the Hollywood Bits family, my brother. And then Melissa Janssen van Vieren, another top runner at the Purple team, says, "Well done, team, and welcome to the champion." Popi Mlambo, we've seen her on camera. She's also here. Welcome to the Purple family, says Popi. And thank you for all of those comments. Thank you so much. That is where we leave it for this morning. If you have any more questions, just pop them on here. But thank you so much for spending your time with us. To the media that are here and joining us, they will now stay and they will give you all this news. So stay tuned to all the various digital channels, because we have various members of the media here today who will be reporting on this story. That's it. It has been a pleasure to share this very brief press conference with you. And welcome to the man in purple. Well done for getting his signature. And we look forward to seeing him on the road. My name is Musibudi Whitehead. See you soon. And we will catch up on the road. Goodbye.